Hello everybody and welcome to the Curro Clash National LAN Final. We were with you guys yesterday, if you recall. We had some Valorant action. A little bit of a shorter day than we had thought, but today we've got so much action coming up. We're going to be kicking the day off with Overwatch. Now, I am Nauri, or Sam. I'm going to be one of your casters today, and I'm joined by a face you should all be familiar with. It's Altruism. How are you doing today?
Absolutely fantastic. I've had the pleasure of getting to do a couple of these Curro Clash LANs before. I love watching the high school scene, the primary school scene, these grassroots players looking to make a name for themselves. And to see Overwatch played by these guys as well, as young as 14 years old, which is where we're going to be starting the day, is amazing to me. I mean, Overwatch has been around now almost as long as these students, and they are constantly joining, growing our scene, and I mean, jumping straight into the action. We got our finals right now, and that's going to be between Curro Durbanville and Curro Krugersdorp Primary 1, their first team from the primary school. And I mean, the Krugersdorp team is coming in with a pretty amazing run in this tournament so far, not having dropped a single map.
All right, well, we're going to kick things off here on Ilios. Of course, this is one of our control maps, and that's where we're going to be spending most of our time today. Nice compositions coming through as well as, Reinhardt in it to win it there.
And we do have a disconnect on the other side. That's a bit of a problem, but no hesitation for the rest of the team. Running in, swinging that big hammer as Bapele gets 2 kills out of this at the end. Somehow still alive and continues with that rampage to clear out the point. Who needs numbers when you have a tank like this ready to set the tone for the team? And desperately trying to get out there. Bella going to be able to get back into the mech and trying to re-engage the point already. Earthshatter on the line here. Tries for the pin attempt. Doesn't manage to get anything, but we're a great job of protecting the supports and throw down this ultimate at any stage that they need. But pretty good deck. Here goes the Earthshatter, picks up the Lucio kill immediately and allows for the D-mech on the Diva to be able to get chest. Still haven't managed to get the point, so this is not picking up any percentages. I'm sure, there we go, going to be able to get that up very quickly.
A bit of a timing mishap there. They allowed that baby Diva to re-mech and recontest. They needed to take her out before that could happen, but finally they do flip the point over. However, the recontest is hard and fast.
Right there, and here comes the gigantic Diva bomb into the center of the point. Takes out 3 members of the team, and this should be a really nice conversion of the point, being able to swap it back towards themselves.
Oh, poor little Mercy there. Mercy gets staggered. So unfortunately, her respawn is going to take a moment. The good news is our disconnect is back in the game, but again, going to be a little bit of time for them to regroup and recontest. Luckily, they did already have a little bit of percentage that ticked up from the start of that early engagement, so they've still got a bit of time to work with.
Oh, there we go. You hear the death tire coming in there, and Blazer managing to pick up 4 kills. That's the way to clear the point. So Ultimate's the name of the game for these teams in terms of breaking that deadlock.
All right, and for those of you that are unsure, our red team is Krugersdorp, and the blue team will be Durbanville. So just keep an eye on that. We'll try and keep you apprised of it for the rest of this map. We'll have that fixed up for the next. But yes, the map is flipped over, and we're reaching that 50% recontest to come through. And the first death will instantly get rezzed, so this fight keeps going.
Keeps going. Krugersdorp managing to hold control of the point as Max tries to take a run around the outside, but everyone on the point getting lost. Once more, Bella coming in, this time squashing their opponent with that remech ability. Does get taken out of the mech eventually, and it's not an easy task when you're the last one left alone. So a valiant attempt. The Krugersdorp maintains possession.
I think having this Farah is really causing some major issues for Durbanville. I think Soldier really needs to kind of focus that down a little bit more, get that out of the sky, deal with that spam. Yeah. This is a very spam-heavy comp with all the heals in the world plus damage boost. It's going to be so difficult to rip through. You need your hit scan to be kind of on top of that.
Yeah, 100%. And go back into the point. Here comes the Genji Dragonblade trying to take down this Reinhardt shield and open things up for Bella. Bella still manages to get one. Unfortunately, Blaze, they're going to immediately get pinned towards the other side of the point. Mad Max lingering on the outside here, wants to pop this ultimate, but it's the Earthshatter on the point that's really determining everything. Great tracking comes out from Maddie Max. be able to take out the Pharah, but unfortunately, it's not enough to break through. Krugersdorp going to be able to get to that 100% and take the first of the 3 control points into their own hands.
And very impressive, because bearing in mind, they did that at the start, 4 players down. That's quite outrageous. And they managed to keep that contestation going for so incredibly long. And again, I think that a comp played a big part in that. I will also say that Dragonblade, you're not going for the Reinhardt, man. You got to focus the squishies. You're going to use that entire ultimate to just feed the support ult battery. So go for those supports, get them offline, and that's how you take it down. And now as we head into the second map of our control, maybe we'll see those changes come in.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it is all coming on the shoulders, I feel like, of Bapalele, who's going on that Reinhardt tank for Krugersdorp, has been so aggressive and then enabled by Senzanorma on the Mercy. There's just been so much sustain coming through there, so much freedom given to the aggressive play style. I mean, that's the brawl composition coming through there. They're going to win the damage battle, and I mean, right now, we see immediately the dive comes in from Bella, but pinned back. Get back to your own side of the map. Bella has to try and retreat back towards the safety of their team. Has managed to turn around. Max picks up an important kill on Not Sad on Pharah. Now needs to try and get this even further. We've seen this team manage to win 4v5 already. They're all being pushed back. Is Durban? Oh no! Blazer takes a walk down into the well.
Yeah, take a long walk off a short cliff. Unfortunately, not going to be too much longer for this world. This pocket Mercy on the Rhine is doing such work. You get Mercy and Moira both just funneling heals into him, and he can lower that shield, swing that hammer, and do unreal amounts of damage. But now the Mercy's been taken down. That means Rhine is a little bit on an island. Shield is breaking. He needs to back away, and the Diva is looking for his supports.
And they just didn't manage to get up the 100%, the cap on the point. So that long drawn-out team fight actually didn't favor either team. And eventually it is going to be Durbanville who claims that first possession. And now they just need to drag it out. Now they need to keep themselves alive. And they've got a very mobile team comp to do that. Managed to get the pick on the Junkrat early into the fight. Got to worry about the Reinhardt Shadow that's coming in. And with no shield to block that, does open things up. But Pella's doing too much work. Takes out the Mercy on the other side. And seems there's constantly this fight. I mean, there goes your Earthshatter. Only manages to take out one. And while the Reinhardt goes for the pin, was too low on HP to complete that. It's going to be Durbanville managing to keep going and keep this percentage ticking up.
I think target prioritization has definitely improved for Durbanville, and that's making a massive difference here. We're seeing them really focus down those supports as much as possible. And now the stagger from Krugersdorp could really come back to bite them. Nice shot with that projectile.
Taken out in mid-air, but unfortunately it's still Bella. This tank fight is incredible to watch between the two of them. Bella getting more remake kills than I've seen in any match before. Still now putting on the pressure. Goes a bit aggressive though. You don't have the HP to get out of here. You don't have the remake. There you're going to be taken out there. And suddenly there's a chance now for Krugersdorp to come back in. They've gotten out the tank. They've gotten out one of the supports. They've got a lot of shield to work with. They can push onto the point, but I mean, they've got to get these other players off. Durbanville still holding people around means that they're going to keep the percentage on their side.
The fact that Genji just continues to contest that. However, now, back away. You don't want to try to stagger this out and allow yourself. No, Lucio. Oh, no, that's terrible. Now they have to wait for him to respawn. But no, they've evened out the numbers here. So there's a chance to re-aggress. They have to be so careful. Mercy not getting focused, however. And that means Farah's back in the fight. And Durbanville are going to have to back away.
Durbanville have to get out now. They're going into so much. In fact, they've decided to go aggressive. They popped the sound barrier. They got a couple of picks on here. Gain playing with the fellow support, but Butterfly still goes down. Going in is Mad Max from the side. You do not have enough bullets in your tank there, friend. Not when you don't have a tank in front of you. And Bella does manage to get back into the mech, but this really is just a long stagger right now. You're not achieving anything by sticking around. Okay,
Moira heal is a hot. Yeah, I think the difficult one here is figuring out, which healer is healing where. Generally speaking, you're going to have your Moira on your front line. But you know what? Reinhardt doing just fine, even with just the pocket Mercy. Again, now that he's back on the field, he is just a force to be reckoned with, a brick wall that cannot be pushed through. We need to see some flanks here because this is just about a spawn camp at this point. Oh, and Coalescence gets 2. It's just outrageous. I don't know if there's a possibility of a recontest here.
Yeah, it's being a bit pushed hard and forced into this fight. Diva Bomb optimistically over the top, as was that Dragon Blade that was cancelled by the Coalescence from Dino Smash. It means that now suddenly this dive, this target prioritization that was looking so good for Durbanville, they're being stretched very thin. Bella goes in deep to try to take out the Moira, but the easy fade back towards the squad in the center. Oh no, does manage to at least find Senza, but the Trey's being killed back and forth. Pin comes out. Bella going to be able to try and at least challenge this Farah in here, but they're not getting rid of the players. 95% up on the board here for Curro Krugersdorp, but I mean, they are eventually going to fall at the end of this. They're not going to win it right now. They've got time for one more fight, so it really does come down to who gets the most value out of these ultimates.
I'll be honest, Bella's a little psychotic and I'm here for it.
Madness.
Just
Madness.
absolutely diving into the backline and still surviving so consistently. And it's crazy because Diva is so good at dealing with those squishies, dealing with Moira, Mercy, Farah in the sky. It's a great compliment to the soldier.
It's a great compliment, but now the pressure. Oh no! You're coming over the top, but you don't get the touch. There were so many people from Krugersdorp who were right there. And yet still, that early team fight win and the aggression of Bella give Durbanville all the space that they need. They managed to level this up, but this is, remember, this is a rematch. Hey, this was previously 2-0 to Krugersdorp, and yet Durbanville seems to be here to play.
Well, we've yet to discover if it's going to be a similar case. Remember, I do believe our finals are best of 5. So a lot of opportunities here to, you know, come back into it if you do drop a map wherever. But we're still in map 1, and of course, this one is certainly anyone's game. Now, no compositional swap-ups. I was hoping for potentially, you know, a Widowmaker to come through, maybe get a few pop-pops onto that Farah, get her out of the sky quick and easy, but they're sticking with this kind of dive-esque composition, and, well, it worked out for them on the first map. DB, you can eat those. You can eat those.
You know what? You talk about like looking for compositional swaps. When it comes to the school league, something I've noticed is that people tend to play people or characters that they're comfortable on. And I'm okay with that. You know, you're just getting into this game. I would much rather you play something that you know what your role is. You know how to play it, and you just do it really well. Then meta. Meta for what? You know, what's the matter? Nothing. What's the matter with you? So at this stage, stick on what you know and don't die. Just get the most value that you can out of it. And that seems to be the idea right now. We do see Krugersdorp taking an aggressive position on the field, but Bella once more just an unassailable assassin taking out the supports on the other side. And we've seen how valuable this Mercy pocket has been onto the tanks. Bella's got one now. Unfortunately, Babalele doesn't. It goes for the Earth Shatter. Has to block the Diva Bomb. Well-timed Diva Bomb to try and shut that down. But I mean that it can't counter the aggression immediately.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a nice adaptation where Durbanville have gone, oh, that Reinhardt? Yeah, he just keeps swinging into us. So when he drops his shield, just shoot him, lol. And it seems to be working out really well. They're using him as an ult battery. They take him down, and then there's nothing that can defend the rest of the team. And with a more brawl-heavy comp, that Reinhardt shield is so important. With this more dive comp from Durbanville, they don't need as much of a shield. They've got the Diva that's constantly being an issue in the back line. So this composition is actually working out really well for them. And finally, we have control of the point.
Finally, I can't believe how long it takes to actually confirm it at the end of the stages. So much time being drawn in there, and it's like what you say right now. Durbanville is going for such target prioritization. They're getting into the back line. They've got a very aggressive Krugersdorp has a very aggressive Junkrat that's playing in there, but look at Senza Norma. Just the ability to move around the point like this. It was their attack bars immediately cancelled out by the barrage. Good trade of ultimates if you're the Farah. But I mean, the Mercy sends a Norma, my player against. No, that is not the beat, Lucio.
No.
Okay, still contests. No, that was not worth it for 2 more %.
That really wasn't. Oh, man. You could have used that for recontest, bolstered your team, pushed them in. There's, like, only one ultimate online at the moment for Krugersdorp, so that could have been huge. But, unfortunately, just the wrong decision made there. Reinhardt in it to win it. But, again, he's just being a massive ult battery. If they can push him. No, it's the Earth Shatter. Oh, that would have been a perfect opportunity to take him out. But now with Diva off the board, again, Durbanville have to retreat or die.
And they are not retreating, unfortunately. They did not get out of there despite the mobility that comes with the Lucio and with the Soldier 76. They've decided to stick around. Here comes another optimistic Diva Bomb. Blazer, you got to move around the corner if you want to avoid that. But the only casualty claimed right now, and it's still... Oh, no! That turns 1 kill into 2. Sends an Alma, falls for the bait. Moira also now getting pressured. And suddenly, where Krugersdorp looked to be in full control of this, they seem to have lost the point.
Oh, now Diva kind of cosplaying Reinhardt a little bit here. Gets in a bit too deep there. And Reinhardt has the Moira with him, so he can recontest quite easily. No, he's charged! Oh, but the Coalescence keeps him alive, even though he does charge. So he's able to get in onto the point, contest. Coalescence continues to be an absolute menace to society here. Diva's Matrix can't do anything about it. But baby Diva survives for so long back into the map just to have the Earth Shatter come through and take her back out of commission. They continue to contest for so long. They still have control of the point. They've done so well to just bide this time a little bit longer. Once again, it's poor baby Diva doing all she can to hold on to the control, but they'll keep it ticking, keep it going almost to 70%.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that from Durbanville. The ability to stagger out there. They pulled out a couple of ultimates on the other side. So, yeah, go for it. They do need to come back. And, you know, we're starting to head towards that last fire territory. And the ultimates slightly in the favor here of the Krugersdorp side on red. But it really does come down to the difference between the barrage and this tactical visor for our next fight.
Well, already Farah in their back line. Tac Visor yet to come out. And the Tac... Oh, no. The entirety of Durbanville already falling apart. And there hasn't even been a chance to use the ult.
Yeah, not now. Don't drop it into this fight. You cannot waste into a dead fight already. You lost too many people at the beginning, and so going to be having a little bit of time for one more recontest. Dino sticking around here, giving their life away and staggering themselves out there. Doesn't even manage to time it so that they get the overtime take. Lucio optimistically in, gets there just in time.
Yeah, but time is ticking away now, and they need to touch point, and they can't. The charge from Reinhardt will deny Diva from boosting in onto the point, and Krugersdorp will take our very, very first map. I will say, hotly contested. I'm pretty impressed with how... with how Durbanville kind of fought back on that second map. And also, just a quick correction. My apologies. It is just a best of 3. So... Again, you don't have as much of a buffer as you'd like if you do kind of have a slip up or a bad game.
Yeah, this is all or nothing right now. Apologies for my background. Don't know what's happened there, but I mean, right now the game was just too exciting for it. My background can't even handle it. There's a couple of really nice things that I want to point out. There's a lot of individual skill coming out here. We've seen people running some great mechanics. I mean, the ultimates have been looking really good from both sides. We've seen Pharaoh sniping a Mercy out of mid-air with a rocket, which is a phenomenally difficult shot if anyone's not super familiar with it. We've seen good use of ultimates and good aggression coming out with pretty safe playing support, especially the Krugersdorp side. I've been seeing Senzanorma flitting around there, being almost impossible to track, and that's against something like a Soldier 76, who notoriously is there to put pressure. And then something like the Moira, I can't remember what the Moira's name was, but was doing such a good job of like baiting the Diva deep into their own squad and then fading back towards them to be able to then stay alive and then create this opportunity. So I'm seeing some individual plays, and then there's also the next level of the team cohesion is really there, and some good understanding, good target prioritization. So high level of Overwatch for a primary school division.
Yeah, honestly, I've been pretty impressed overall, particularly because of the way that there's so much support given to the tanks, right? Like the fact that Diva and Ryan are doing so well to survive so often in these engagements, even when they're getting a little bit overzealous, shall we say, and getting into the enemy backline, but they're still able to come out and they're still able to regroup with the rest of their team. So really, really impressed with how things have gone, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come on the next map, because I think that there's still a real opportunity for Durbanville, even on that third map, despite the fact that they lost 2-0. I've always said this about Overwatch. Unfortunately, that final score, it really does belie how close so many of these games can be. I mean, that third map was down to the wire. It was just a matter of that last team fight, and I think that the second map was similar. First map was a little bit more one-sided, but Durbanville definitely have a lot of tenacity in them. So as we head into the second map, there's every possibility they can turn it around.
Yeah. And I mean, there's tiny little adjustments that either team could make to really break that deadlock between the two of them. I mean, when I think of something like what Durbanville wants to do, the Mercy has to be punished. Getting way too much value right now, and you're already running the soldier. You just tell your soldier player, hey, that's the person you're taking care of. That's the one you're pressuring. And I mean, especially when there's a Pharah on the other side, your job is not to shoot the Reinhardt shield then, almost at any stage. You're looking for anyone popping up into the air and just hammering them down as much as possible. And the second one was there were a couple of very optimistic ultimates thrown in by both teams, where the fight's already lost or there's been a couple of big picks, and you're trying to now be the hero play and get these big 4 or 5 kills. You can't normally rely on that. It's much better to just wait half a second, especially when it's not last fight territory. You wait. You let the team regroup. You let other people take the focus and soak some abilities. And then you come in from a nice off angle with something like a good tactical visor, and it can really break that. I mean, also Dino was there on the Genji, and we saw 2 Genji blades. One of them was shut down immediately with Coalescence. The other one was straight onto the Reinhardt. So something like that, especially as a Genji player, you got to know that you are super squishy but super lethal if you time it right.
And this is the thing, because playing a divey comp, I mean, while we were seeing a lot of like individual prowess, we weren't seeing a lot of the dive element of that, where like 3 players all hard focus in on the Mercy or the Moira, right? Dive onto that player, Matrix to protect Genji. Genji goes absolutely ham. Now there's a support down. It's exactly as you say. Your priority, that entire team, no one's priority is the Reinhardt shield. The Reinhardt shield actually makes no difference to your life whatsoever. You want to dive onto the supports. When the supports are down, Reinhardt doesn't have that extra bit of healing that made him so dangerous in so many of those maps. And then you're able to take him off the board once all of that support has been taken away. That's what that composition is so good at. But the Brawl comp, you know, keeping those supports alive, and in fact, the Brawl comp isn't even good at that. You don't have like a Cassidy, for example, that's there to help out and to deal with something like a Genji diving in. So your supports are relying fully on themselves. Junkrat, he's over in Narnia somewhere lobbing grenades. Pharah up in the sky. Sure, Mercy can be protected by being with her, but your Moira is then left completely unprotected. So the dive v brawl, dive should actually be winning out in those engagement 9 times out of 10. So for Durbanville, I think the big win condition here is figuring out how to make that composition work for them.
Yeah, it's definitely not a compositional problem right now. But when it comes to something, you look at their abilities on your opponent's side. Something like Moira is obviously a prime target. You talked about how powerful that Moira healing was there on Ilios. Well, and the thing about Moira Fade, it's very long cooldown. As opposed to something like a Diva Booster Rockets, which is only 3.5 seconds, you almost want a fake dive. And that's something that a lot of newer players don't have the nuance of. You don't full send a dive immediately, because then your opponents are going to be able to scatter apart. You kind of like half it, you posture it, you force out these very important cooldowns like a Moira Fade, wait until she's committed to her spot, and then you jump on her with the second go. And something like the Genji should be waiting for that. You let your Diva be the first wave because they've got the HP, they've got the sustain, they've got the defense matrix to be able to mitigate that damage. And then when the Diva now has the second set of booster rockets and the Moira is now committed, you all go on to the second point together. So like you say, it's not a composition, and it's not even like a general playstyle. They know who they want to go on to, but they're missing that half a step of just when to go as a team.
I'd also really like to see the Diva doing a little bit more with that defense matrix. Speaking specifically about like the damage orbs, fire strikes, right? Like all of these kind of projectile Pharah ultimates. You can eat so much of that damage and keep your team alive a little bit longer, because like, sure, you get past the damage orb, you're not taking any damage. Your squishies are. And sure, they can use that as an ult battery for themselves, heal each other up, get some of that ult up, but you're giving Moira a lot of ult as well, and you're gonna take damage in the next fight anyway. So try and take out some of those early damage dealers, those projectiles if you can. Keep your supports alive so that when you start that dive, you know, you're kind of a lot more robust, and you've taken a lot of their resources off of the board. Now, we are just preparing for our second map, folks, so we should be getting ready to go into that. Right about now. My God. You know what? I love it when a plan comes together.
Absolutely perfect introduction there, Naori. I love it. We are going to be going through to, again, another control point. If you guys are not sure how this goes, we are just playing control point maps for the day, and that allows us to get these really nice definitive victories one way or another. And right now, Krugersdorp sitting with that one-game victory. They are playing to a best of 3, so all it takes is to take down Lijiang for our squad in red. On the other side, Durbanville, they were close enough and sticking around with a very similar composition. And what you said about using the defense matrix for Bella's doing a great job of being aggression. But when you're going against Farah and Junkrat, that's kind of important that you're taking down those big chunks of damage. But other than that, no real team composition swapping out there. We are going to be seeing Not Sad going onto the Symmetra there to be able to beam through the Diva if they're not focused down too much, and immediately starts getting that charge up there. Taking control at this point. That's a very aggressive position, but pocketed by the Mercy means you have all the damage in the world to come out.
Oh, that's such a toxic pick. I love it. I was not expecting it at all. I mean, to be fair, like, you can get a lot of value from Farah on you, particularly if the enemy team is kind of all huddled up under this pagoda. But for, you know, creating those microwaves so that once they walk into the pagoda, they just absolutely melt. The Symmetra gets so much value, and the repositional function as well. And as you say, for dealing with Diva, it can be so powerful, but not if you're just running out in the middle of nowhere ahead of your Reinhardt shield. How is she still alive? The Pocket Mercy is just so powerful.
That's what I said. Senzanorma is the MVP, the GOAT of this so far, somehow. And I know, like, just hold left click is all the limit of what you can actually contribute, but staying alive and constantly keeping that beam on the right target has been fantastic. Nearly up to the ultimate. That is a huge Symmetra wall, in fact, shutting off the entire sidelines, no shooting through there. And then you got Babalele going, anyone who wants to take a step through, I'm going to pin you to that wall, and even manages to get out. Senzanorma now does have the Guardian Angel if we see Durbanville wanted to stick around. There goes the Diva Bomb onto the point. It doesn't manage to claim any kills. It one falling very low. Does get the remake kill onto the Junkrat on the other side. The Earth Shatter levels things out, and somehow still the supports here from Krugersdorp just doing it too much to be able to come in there. Dive goes forward once more. Nice pin onto the Mercy. That's the target to take down, and everyone else sure to follow immediately after.
Oh man, you know what, I was wondering about Senzanorma using the ultimate just to stay alive after that Diva Bomb. Use that to fly out of the way and like live. But then, you know, some of the players start going down and you think, oh man, it may have been an overinvestment. But they do so well at keeping the rest of the team alive that they're able to flip back or maintain control of the point. However, Soldier has arrived, has taken out the Junkrat, but they immediately raised back up. These Mercies do so much work to keep the teams alive, and now any sort of a recontest, damn near impossible, flying straight in onto the point, has to contest. It's Mercy and Lucio doing everything they can to keep things alive, keep things going. We've even got a we've got a lot of brawling happening here. The Symmetra wall to come through to block so much of that damage. Junkrat manages to take down the Lucio. That means that's one support off the board here. Oh, there goes the second. Soldier as well for a secondary heal cannot happen. And Diva tries to contest in her baby form, but that is a whitewash of a first map.
That is huge. 100-0 then. I mean, it really does feel like Krugersdorp playing as a single-minded unit right now. They push forwards together, they go for the aggressive play, they go on their Reinhardt's charge, and they back them up. They're like, you go, you do the damage, that's fine, we will keep you alive, you're doing your tank job and creating space. Whereas on the other side, I feel like Durbanville, especially like that last fight, kind of sparked this in my mind. There's a slight disconnect, a half a second ping delay in the brain lag that you send your Lucio alone to contest the point, but then has to drop a beat that no one else benefits for, instead of, you know, waiting with the team and the whole team runs in together. You pop a attack visor into a Reinhardt shield. It's just not enough. So we'll see if they can change things up for one more attempt. That's all that Curro Durbanville has. One more attempt. If they lose control center now, they lose the grand finals.
Hey, there we go. Sweet. Yeah. Moira Orb taken offline. Love that. All right, how much more can we get done here already? We've got Krugersdorp on the point and Reinhardt Babalele in it to win it, swinging away, kept alive by his supports that have been so exceptional. The Symmetra doing so much work with just the turrets. Finally, D.Va's going to take some of those turrets off the board, try to create a little bit of space for them, but already having lost so many players, D.Va alone on an island getting melted down, and yet she's still able to take out the Symmetra. That's where she shines, dealing with those squishies. She is, however, in a little bit of danger here. Has to wait for the regroup. They've had to allow the point to flip, but she's straight back in. She's not allowing any time to tick away, and that's a bit of a questionable decision. Dive straight in while the Mercy goes for the raise, but it means that she does end up falling, and Griersdorp will maintain control here. Soldier, however, doing so much work, trying to deal with that Moira. Moira fades away, and Durbanville haven't given up just yet. Soldier?
You gotta take out, yeah. There's no turret there. You gotta be aware of these tiny little deployables. They do more work than you're worried about, but I mean, certainly good contest. Early contention of the point from Krugersdorp meant that they are gonna be benefiting for as long as this team fight drags out, and throwing the Coalescence in on top of that keeps everyone alive, does all the damage around the other way. And Durbanville, they're not going to be able to really contest this for long. Good stagger on the baby D.Va as well.
Yeah, I mean, we say that, but one of the big things that I found in some of these like up-and-coming grassroots leagues, one of the things they struggle with is regrouping, is getting back together and coming in as a 5. Look at this. They're staggering themselves in, going for the res, and actually managing to get it off is massive. That means they don't have to wait for that res to come through. The bomb is massive. Both the Mercy and the Junkrat, but now the follow-up needs to be there. Reinhardt already has a return kill onto the Genji, and that means that they're slowly evening out the numbers and are waiting for their teammates to come back in. They're still alive on the point here. Soldier's been taken off, and suddenly things start turning back in favor of Griersdorp. It was a 3 versus 5, but somehow they've managed to stabilize. The Symmetra is doing so much work, in Durbanville, that spells the end as now the time ticks away. 2 seconds remain. Can someone touch? Soldier right there, but not quite able to touch in onto the point. Genji, take it off. Soldier, you've got to touch. There's no time left. He's not going to make it. He doesn't even try. He knows there's nothing more that can be done. And Griersdorp will take this final in the under-14 Overwatch division.
And that second game was convincing. I mean, they came in as the favorites for this, having not dropped a map in the entire series. And they managed to finish off the finals with that same record in hand. And it was just this ability to swing around. I mean, I'm surprised that Durbanville fell such victim to the Reinhardt hammer. They had so many mobile characters between the Lucio, the Genji, the Soldier. All of those should be able to space themselves out. In fact, the entire squad, because they had a Mercy and D.Va as well. No one should really be getting trapped in the range of the Reinhardt, and Babalele doing a great job of closing down that distance with the charges. But other than that, you should still be looking to disengage that. There seemed to be a genuine problem with positioning on a lot of people where, I mean, even let's be fair, Krugersdorp also had some positioning problems where you saw something like Not Sad on the Symmetra walking 10 steps ahead of your own Ryan shield and then wondering why you blow up. I mean, that's something that's going to happen, guys. But other than that, it was just that difference of the big shield defining the front lines. And then when you've got everyone focused on you already and you start swinging and you've got 2 big supports behind you pumping healing into you, it really did make a difference, and there was just no adaptation. So a convincing win at the end of there for Curro Krugersdorp, and they are your Curro Clash primary school champions here for Overwatch.
Yes, under 14 division now done and dusted. Very proud of how they performed today. And of course, they're going to be very happy with that one as well as they walk away with the gold trophy. Folks, we're going to take a very short break. I say very short. I don't know exactly how long this break is going to be, but we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have the grand final of the open division. All ages. It's the best of the best from their high schools that are going to be duking it out for the gold trophy in this division. So stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody, to the Curro Clash National LAN Final. We're about halfway through the weekend, just about, but we do have a lot more action for you guys. We've just finished our under-14 Overwatch Finals, which was taken by Krugersdorp in a pretty dominant affair, but the Overwatch is not over yet. We now hop over to our open division. No holds barred, any age, any skill level. Well, presumably the top skill level, but yeah, it's open to all. Very excited to see who's going to be taking this one. And again, we've got two teams that have been duking it out, but one that seems to be edging things out just that little bit more.
Yeah, I must admit, it's so exciting to see these guys. This is where we really get the culmination. We're starting to see a lot of the schools actually having students who are starting to participate in the pro leagues as well. So when you talk about like the skill cap, it starts to become almost infinite right now. Guys really starting to get into Overwatch. This is where we start having people with a little bit more of a diverse hero roster. And the team that you mentioned, Paul Rose Gymnasium, has been a phenomenal squad in basically every esports that they've been talking about. They've recently won stuff like the National Rocket League tournaments.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, I know JH, the guy who runs the PRG side, and he's been posting out on Twitter about the guys there present at the LAN. They're warming up. They've been playing throughout the day, and this is a team that you need to always be very respectful of.
Yeah, I mean, they went through the group stage 6-2. So they did actually drop 2 games. They have made it up to the final, however. So they are presumably feeling pretty confident in their ability. But their opponents in Durbanville, well, they went 8-0 in the group stage, which means Paul Rus has lost to them already once this tournament. So a little bit of a potential grudge match to come through here. And that, of course, is always very, very exciting to see. And Paul Rus, for those that were with us yesterday, you'll know that they actually won the Valorant yesterday. So going to be looking to add an extra little feather in their cap this weekend. And as I said, right, we're already about halfway through the weekend. So even if they don't succeed today, there are still more opportunities in the Minecraft later on. Although the Rocket League's already finished up. Who won the Rocket League?
I'm not 100% sure. I do think that was PRG.
Oh, well, there you go.
We'll wait on production for that. But yeah, it's really nice to see it. And the fact that PRG is in the Cape, so they get to actually come to this LAN and sit in there. They've had a lot of LAN experience, so I'm not surprised to see something like that. They have... like, LAN is a different mentality, so we'll have to see it out. And the fact that Durbanville now has a primary school team and a high school team, you're starting to see over the continuity of this tournament, the ability to, carry that growth all the way up from primary to high school. And it's not surprising that they're doing well. But we head, of course, into our best of 3. We go to Ilios, the Lighthouse, going to be our first point. And both teams going to be running a Bastion out here.
And that's interesting. Not just the Bastion as an interesting pick, but I love that we've got a Ramatra out in full force here. Such an oppressive hero to deal with. Already got 2 kills for himself, just like running it down, not concerned with anything else that's going on. And that's what you want from your tank player. Give that little bit of support here and let him go absolutely ham, farm up those ultimates, already halfway to his ultimate. On the other side, we've got a Juno, and I love Juno. I think that's such a powerful hero to bring to the fore. Can kind of fly around, team up with the Mercy a bit more, create some of that space. And now the over-aggressive Ramatra is punished, and the entirety of the team will get overrun ever so slightly.
Yeah, you've now got a couple of people who are actually sitting in the wrong place. Do have Stupid going to be lingering around on this mate. Doesn't have an ice block for a couple of... Oh, there it is. But now you're out. And this is the big problem that our Ramatra, our calculus does. I assume it's calculus. This is where you can get punished. It provides that speed rain that allows you to just manipulate your positioning here. And so that's where Mercanator, I believe, are actually going to be able to take advantage of that and flex really nicely. And the Juno once more enabling our squad in red to be able to come through and punish anyone coming in there. Getting a really nice tick up on this point. We've got a Maid trap last member.
You were talking about you said the word stupid, and I'll be honest, I was like, whoa. And then I realized that that's literally in someone's name. The names are very, very interesting here. But, you know, love to see it. Oh, some hero swaps. We didn't really see this in our last game. Widowmaker out onto the field. You're going to try and pop a couple of heads. I must admit, the Bastion thing is always questionable for me, but it's generally like a early game thing, so you can get down and potentially get a shield up to mow things down. No shield, however. Shield unnecessary because Junkrat, the fact that the Junkrat killed the Widowmaker is just absolutely absurd. But there you go. You know, you got to get cheeky. You got to get right up in their faces, and already Point very much under the control of Durbanville. We also had a slight correction. It was Durbanville that won the Rocket League over PRG.
Okay.
So we're potentially having a bit of a rematch of the Rocket League here to see which one of these two teams is going to come out on top this time.
Full props to the Durbanville coaches and managers there for being creating such a strong esports department. But I mean, on the other side, this Durbanville side is just insane. Everyone being able to pick up. I mean, ACGL 09 is not their name, but the Junkrat player finishing that off with a bomb. And I kind of feel now like this comes down to a compositional diff.
Yeah, it can do. I think the other thing is, again, right, you bring out that Bastion. It's very much an early round thing, right? You want to win that first fight, get your Bastion set up, and then you bunker down. Unfortunately, Durbanville lost that first engagement. They brought out the Widowmaker, which could have been really powerful. There weren't really any shields to speak of aside from the D.Va, but that's the problem. They have a D.Va. Okay, it wasn't the D.Va that took out the Widowmaker, it was the Junkrat of all things. But definitely some kind of mistakes in how they approached that compositional difference. Now we head on to our second map, and some big changes here, some hit scans to come through. We got a Cassidy and a Soldier to try to deal with the more kind of elusive heroes. But the Kiriko, I think, can bring a lot to the table as well, can do some serious damage. It's Genji, but with heals, right? Really, really powerful. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of a fight come through here from PRG.
Oh, look at this flight over the top. We do know that this Junkrat player is actually Serpent and taking a big aggressive angle while D.Va pushes from the other side. That's Demeanor on the D.Va right there. Demeanor on the D.Va. I love it. But sorry, that was great. But the angles are just too oppressive coming out here from the Curro Durbanville side. I mean, look at how they're isolating targets and being able to run them down right now. And this is the compositional difference that I was talking about. The mobility that's coming out from Durbanville now. Every one of their players, I mean, the D.Va and the Junkrat are moving around so much, along with the Mercy. You've got a Juno who's able to kind of enable that Bastion. It's the go time, right? We put down the speed ring, we charge into them, or we've now used that turret form. We need to get out, so we pop a speed ring behind them, retreat back, and give time for the D.Va to be able to close that distance. So still Serpent though, taking such an aggressive position on this fight.
Yeah, well, being pocketed by that Mercy, damage boost heal, and you know, you just, it's just disgusting how much is coming through here. Definitely feels like maybe we need a bit more of a divey composition to come through from PRG. They're trying to stick with this brawl mentality, but unfortunately they have to be kind of grouped up a bit more because of that shield, and because of that, it's so easy to take advantage and just keep spamming away. Look at that. The Junkrat is just denying so much space. But finally, we get a pick to come through. Now, this could be everything that they need. No, the rest to come out. Junkrat continues to be an absolute menace. And again, I honestly think that it's, to an extent, it's a bit of a support diff. The amount of healing that's being funneled into our Durbanville players is making it so much easier for them to keep getting these results.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, right now the supports from PRG just don't have a safe space to live. They've got a D.Va coming in straight down the center. They've got a Junkrat who's flying around and creating so much space and so much threat of death. Now we see the D.Va bomb just pushes everyone back a little bit, but again, just staying in the right position. Even the Reaper, who's such a tank buster, has got such struggles going in past that. Oh, aggressive Wraith goes into the background looking for the Bastion. Does manage to take it out, and combining it with their much annihilation, suddenly PRG's found some life on 99%.
All right, only one ultimate thrown into that, which is phenomenal because they've got 2 ultimates still online. Coalescence is just about to activate, and then of course you're going to have the tactical visor available very shortly as well. So this is a great opportunity for them to hold on. However, we have to remember Valkyrie is available as well, and that could be just the thing that Durbanville need to push forward. Curro caught a little bit out of position. They're somehow still alive. A lot of heavy damage to come through here, but they're being kept up as much as possible. Unfortunately, Reaper has gone down. That's your massive power taken offline. So the Coalescence is going to get forced through here. It is going to eat through this D.Va mech, and not going to be too much longer for this world. Oh, beautiful tack visor. Deals with the Junkrat tire as well, and it just keeps PRG in it just that little bit longer. D.Va now out of mech, but we're starting to see a bit of stagger here from PRG. They're allowing themselves to take a little bit too much damage and not giving themselves the opportunity to regroup.
But I mean, PRG's in blue right now, if you guys are not sure. They're managing to get some good counter kills. I mean, they dropped everything they had into that previous fight, so they need to be very careful about the ultimate differential between the two teams right now. But it's at least a great staggering. It's a great elimination of threats for a long time. Durb Stupid now taking a bit of a flank. Gets a great angle there. D.Va Bomb over the top is going to be able to take out the Curro on the other side. Can they confirm the Mercy? That'll be such a pivotal kill. But they feel the peel from this D.Va right now. Demeanor has just done too much. And it is going to be Durbanville turning it around on 99%. I don't know if PRG can come back into this.
I think, truly Durbanville played that so well. They knew that there were a million ultimates online, and all they needed to do was just bait out as many of them as humanly possible in the penultimate fight. So they pull out all of those ultimates and they regress knowing that they have a ton of their own ultimates. So there's nothing that PRG can realistically do to hold them back in that last fight. Okay, timing was really, really important in that as well. They had to time it perfectly. Otherwise, it was going to end up being a disaster. But ultimately, they do actually make it work out in their favor. So that's a fantastic way for Durbanville to win out that first map. Very, very decisive. Didn't drop even one of the maps on Ilios. And that's going to take us over to map 2 soon.
Yeah. And like you talk about the timing, there's such small events that you can tend to overlook, but as they compound, and this is where Durbanville's been doing really good at punishing these things and exacerbating any mistakes that happen. We saw at the beginning of that kind of end fight how many ults PRG had available for them. They had the Coalescence, they had Kitsune Rush, they had Reaper Ultimate. They were running with everything, but Medic on the Reaper kind of tried to take an aggressive position, got themselves spotted out a little bit, then tried to Wraith form through the enemy team to get back towards their squad. They got then chased down and punished, and that's the problem with the D.Va. You cannot just Wraith form back to your team. The D.Va's going to be on you. And then was kind of like forced to preemptively try and drop that Death Blossom. That got eaten by the D.Va, so they got killed. Coalescence, Kitsune Rush, all had to like try and recover a simple little positioning mistake or like pathing mistake on the way out there. And Durbanville is just a practice team. They understand their power spikes and they go in and punish with that. So very good first game, like you say. And now just one simple oasis from victory, from taking out this one as well.
All right, definitely some interesting compositions coming out again. We spoke about comfort versus, a compositional identity, and I think that that's certainly a big factor here as well. You got Sombra and Bastion complemented by a Sigma of all things. You got Farah taking out Sombra on the high ground. It's like very, very explosive to say the very least. And again, we're looking for that kind of early point control so we can set up our bastions. But already PRG have lost their bastions, so I'm expecting a swap up here for the respawn.
Medic already swapping off that Sombra, just realizing they didn't have the timing cohesion to be able to get through. A nice little late pick onto Serpent on the Farah. But I mean, the rest of this PRG side, like you say, are just a little bit staggered out there. They lost a couple too many people at the beginning. That Bastion's in a very precarious position right there. And it is going to be Livewire going for this play. Does manage to confirm it at the end. Rez being threatened right now. The damage is too much. Medic going to be able to confirm that at the end. And suddenly PRG has found their calling card back into this fight. They've given up 24%. One more shot. Oh, medic! Just wide of those. But has now Farah waiting and ready. Now they need to take control of the point.
The swap onto the Ash was such a good decision, I feel like. You know, making so much of a difference there. Now what I want to see is a Mercy to come through just to pocket that, make that little bit more deadly. However, I still burger on the Juno. I mean, that's the great thing about the Juno, right? It's an Ana, but not a sniper. So you shoot your teammates to heal them, but you can also shoot the enemy, and you don't have the disadvantage of having to aim down a scope. You can be a little bit more spammy with it. So there's a lot of practicality that comes with the Juno pick as well. Sure, you can't pocket, but you can do a lot more for the rest of the team. Now, oh, there you go. Beautiful. Take the Ash offline, but the trade does come through here. That's fantastic for PRG. They can potentially stay alive just a little bit longer, but all of this spam from the Junkrat is making their lives so difficult. He's stuck in the trap. He lives for so long, can't take out the Juno. The rest of his team is there to try to back it up.
Oh no, that's not great. And Curro Durbanville, they've got a res online for the next one. They can take the aggressive posturing. They've pressured out the Sigma. Sigma used all their abilities, but they don't need to push this any further. They've taken control. They're getting the percentage up, and once more, it's Serpent on this Junkrat, just finding these weird off angles. Such good mobility and combinations of using both the standard rockets or grenades and then the concussion mines over the top. Optimistic, but pivotal Diva Bomb comes in over the top, takes out both the DPSs, and that's Domino once more securing some space here for the Curro Durbanville. But PRG, they want to still go into this, catching nothing of the gravitic flux. They can't fight this.
Yeah, that was a questionable ultimate, to say the very least. There was nothing really to follow up on it, and now Sigma is being flanked, and they're trying desperately to kind of keep him alive. Accretion goes out, doesn't actually hit onto anything here. Trying to do a little bit of damage, but the Matrix is eating everything, so nothing is coming through. The tire to take out 2 DPS as well. That's going to have to force PRG to pull back, but they don't have the time. They're popping the Coalescence. They're absolutely desperate here, throwing everything that they have just to try to stay alive a little bit longer, but it's the Junkrat spam to come out on top. Juno does not survive at all, and there it is. That's the end of the map. And again, it's that same thing we spoke about in our last matchup. Teams really struggling with regrouping, falling back, and coming back as 5.
Yeah, Curro Durbanville is managing aggression so well right now. They lost their fight, and instead of getting picked, they did actually group up. And then when they come back in, they find a pick early on, and that's their kind of go call. Whenever there's ultimates being popped out from PRG, this Durbanville side is just going, okay, well, we've got to counter tire, okay? So they've lost 2 players and they throw Gravitic Flux, perfectly fine. We just stay out of that. We flex ourselves back with this very mobile comp. And then you throw the Juno ultimates from PRG. Great, we got a Riptire that's going to come through and take out 2 more players. There's constantly like this answer to whatever PRG is throwing out. And now Durbanville on the verge, really, of taking a dominant victory here in our open finals.
All right, Tracer now on the board here, going to try to be an irritation in the back line, but instantly spammed off of her position. And that gives Junkrat the opportunity with the Mercy pocket to try to cause havoc. A lot of early damage done, however, but no kills confirmed just yet. There you go. Mercy gets taken out by her Juno counterpart, and that opens up so much space for PRG to start pushing that advantage. However, Junkrat, what? The dive Junkrat going absolutely ham, hitting shots that he has no right at all to hit. That's play of the game. I mean, he's already got one play of the game under his belt. That's the second one, done and dusted. See the little happy dance there. Wow, what a recovery.
Yeah, well-deserved wiggle there. Serpent again managing to pull the team out. And I mean, PRG had such a good positioning. They took that high ground. They managed to split off the side of Durbanville. And then your Ramatra drops. And that's bad. You do not want to drop your Ramatra into the waiting arms of a Basher. Mercanator definitely not wasting any time. Junkrat Tire comes in over the top there. Doesn't manage to pick up anything with that, but force out the ice block. And now has all the freedom to get involved. It manages to put in that. And again, it's this tempering of aggression. That Junkrat is able to go in and out and fight. And even the Bastion on the back line, the team is ready to turn around and peel and keep them alive.
I will say that at this kind of grassroots level, taking advantage of the spam comps really does make a huge difference, because when you're still like developing, you don't have obviously that high tier mechanical skill. You're getting there, so you pick your spam heroes that people are going to struggle to deal with unless they're doing counter spam, and you can just get so much done. You get away with absolute murder. Now re-aggression to come through here from PRG just to try to regain control, flip that point in their favor, but once again, it's just Durbanville tearing through them.
Yeah, I mean, and look at the positioning being taken up by Curro Durbanville right now. You got a Junkrat in the tiny rooms on the left. You got a Bastion who's sitting so happy and comfortable on the... Oh, no, oh, goodness. You savage. Absolutely love it, yeah, Serpent. But yeah, it really is. The Junkrat is kind of like moving around, making you always track them. Gives all the space to the Bastion. No, you're not. Okay. That would have been next level.
I think one of the funniest things I've ever experienced in one of my own games was a friend of mine who made it their life mission as Junkrat to keep killing the Pharah. And he did it. And it tilted the Pharah off the face of the earth. So you can get away with absolute murder, which is exactly what Durbanville continue to do here. Yet one more map under their belt. Durbanville absolutely unstoppable here in the Curro Clash LAN final.
Absolutely, and a team that has done so well up until this point. Don't drop a map, don't even drop a control point right now. Here's your play of the game that you're talking about. Death from above in the most chaotic fashion that only a Junkrat can achieve. And great, I hope we get to see the little wiggle. Come on, give us the wiggle. Oh man.
You know what? If justice reigns from above, chaos reigns from the ground. That's what that is. That was pure chaos from Serpent on the Junkrat. Very, very impressive. But congratulations to Durbanville. That is a second title win under their belts. They took home the Rocket League, and now they've taken home the Overwatch Open Division as well. Any final thoughts from you, Altruism, on our finals today?
When I come and watch this, the victories mean so much to these youngsters. The passion that they play with is always inspiring to me. And it makes me so excited every time I do one of these school events to see what the future of those titles looks like. And when I look at Overwatch, something that took a couple of years of a dip here in South Africa, I look at these youngsters, I'm like, we have skills. We have communication, we have intention. We have youngsters that are paving the way for what the next generation of Overwatch players in this country look like. From the primary school division to the high school division now, the open division. It is fantastic to see what these youngsters look like. I mean, I would be terrified at 33 years old to meet up against these guys in a lobby. So I really want to encourage even the teams who didn't manage to win now, keep going, man. There is so much there for you guys, and you are doing so well. So tough luck to PRG, but a school again that knows how to take it on the chin and rally for next year is... You guys are showing off a lot. Curro Durbanville is just a step above and really starting to compete with the pro scenes. And maybe that's even the next step for the guys who haven't gotten involved with any of the organizations. Go jump onto the Kausa Discord, etc., or on Twitter if you are on Twitter as a 18-year-old. But go find other people, new next level people, because you're there. You really are.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the high school esports scene. I love that we have so much passion and dedication, and that we are fostering the next generation of esports stars. So thank you everybody for hanging out with us here for the Overwatch broadcast. Minecraft is coming up in a few hours time, so get excited for that. We are of course going to kind of end the stream here for now, but we will return a little bit later on for you guys so we can round out the Curro Clash LAN for Saturday, and then of course we'll be back tomorrow as well with more action. You do not want to miss out. Make sure to keep up to date with the schedule. You can check that out on the Curro website, as well as I believe the ACGL website. So check it out. Make sure that you know what's going on, and we'll see you guys a little bit later.